gozaimasu. It's like 7:30 in the morning up here. We've been up since 5:30.
We flew to Tokyo from Brisbane on Qantas Airways, approximately a 9-hour flight, leaving Australia in the morning and arriving in Tokyo at night. Upon arriving in Tokyo Narita Airport, we organised our SIM card and changed money, jumped on the Narita Express train to get us into Tokyo. I have more on what you need to know about travelling Japan in an upcoming video, Tips on Travelling Japan. We had booked an Airbnb in Omotesando in Shibuya. We dropped off our bags and headed straight out for food because we were so hungry.
We have no idea what we're ordering. Help!
But we somehow managed to order cold beer and some pretty good food.
I think we're still in Shinjuku. We're trying to find coffee and it's like 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
The next day we had a massive sleep in and finally headed out to find some coffee at a place called Nosy Coffee in Shibuya, which we had heard was pretty good and it definitely lived up to its reputation. Next up, I wanted to explore Harajuku. There was a severe cold snap in Japan while we were there, and I am not good with the cold at all. I spent a majority of the time looking for warm clothes. There were so many incredible vintage stores in Harajuku, and I managed to find some amazing pieces. It was also amazing to just walk around and soak up the Japanese pop culture. Then we were hungry again, so we headed for Harajuku GYOZA-RO. It's meant to be some of the best gyozas in this area of Japan. So if you're visiting, you can nearly always expect to line up. We didn't have to wait for long and the food definitely lived up to its reputation. A must try if you were ever in Harajuku. And of course, while in Harajuku, we had to try a crepe from the infamous Harajuku Crepe Cafe. They have all kinds of fillings from banana, cream, ice cream, chocolate to savoury crepes with lettuce, cheese and bacon. I opted for chocolate, banana and ice cream.
So we arrived in this Airbnb last night from when we flew in from Brisbane, and it was a nightmare trying to get a SIM card to work and exchange money. So it's better if you change money before you fly into Tokyo because you get better exchange rate. That's definitely the case for Australia anyway. So we have a little Airbnb in Shibuya, and it's in Omotesando. How do I say it? Really good area, Shibuya. Anyway, so where we're staying, this Airbnb.
Where are you staying?
Anyway, okay, so we're staying here and I'll show you around. It's a great Airbnb, and like I think a lot of places here, it's hard to get accommodation in Tokyo, especially with hotels and Airbnbs. So this place is very basic but the best possible position ever. We're right near Harajuku, we're right near Shibuya, we're right near Shinjuku, we are right near
Tokyo.
Everything. We are right near Tokyo, the government building. We're going to go up there tomorrow. We're right on top of the subway. So
oh, tomato sauce is good.
yeah, I'll show you. But this, if any of you have ever stayed in an ibis, they have exactly the same bathrooms. Check this out. I think I've broken the light. So as you can tell, it's just like being in an airplane. There's no windows or anything. It's very small, and you're a tall human like me, it's hard work to have a shower. Okay, alright, look, this is what we have to sleep in, and we have not much room and so much stuff. And then that's it, literally. Like, our couch is our bed, we have to sleep separately, but that's okay. And then look.
Will I be famous now?
But you can see from our room. So that's how shows you how central we are.
Blue Bottle Cafe near Ontimata Sando. And Jeff made me do this because he's
No, I
like a
didn't.
proud dad.
Show us, babe, where are you going?
It's like my first day to school. Come on. Blue Bottle Coffee is right next to Omotesando Station. This is actually an international coffee chain, but they do coffee very well and the breakfast was so good we came back twice. Although Jeff made quite the embarrassment of himself by locking himself outside on the balcony a couple of times. Next up, we headed to Yoyogi Park, which is in Harajuku, one of the largest parks in Tokyo and is home to the Meiji Shrine, built in 1915. Now, I have to say Japan was one of the busiest places I'd ever visited, but amongst the busyness, there was always a sense of calm amongst the chaos of humans. And here in the middle of one of the biggest, densest urban land masses in the world, Tokyo, a city which is home to over 13 million people, there are some of the most beautiful, serene parks I have ever seen. We were there on a Sunday, so I'm not too sure why there were so many cute Japanese kids dressed up in traditional clothing, but I sure wasn't complaining. Next up, I had to try to get my first sushi fix of the trip, so we headed back to Shinjuku. Now, I won't usually eat meat and I only eat seafood if the BF catches it himself, but I knew I had to be open-minded to survive in Japan. We headed to SUSHI-ZANMAI Higashi in Shinjuku, and the chefs were incredible, very good at what they did and super funny and charming, and the food was amazing and fresh. Okay, so we just had probably the best sushi we've ever had. It's actually the first sushi of the trip. And we're in Shinjuku and we've just had sake and asahi and sapporo and every kind of sushi I think we've ever had. And we're at SUSHI-ZANMAI and the chefs here are so sweet and lovely and I'm really drunk. Arigatou gozaimasu. Then we headed off to check out the view from the Tokyo government building. This is free and gives you a whole view of Tokyo, some 200 plus stories up. We were there on a Sunday and when we arrived it looked as though it was closed, which it was, the building itself. But you can still access the top floor, the observation deck, if you go to the right hand side of the right building if you're looking at it from the front. Access the elevator, which will take you to the top. It's definitely worth heading up for the view. Of course, we have to see as much of nature as possible, so we headed to Shinjuku Park. Again, super busy but kept in such immaculate condition. It's like the shops, technology, skyscrapers and the modern day industry stops and we all step inside these parks and sanctuaries and all take a moment to turn back time and appreciate the deep history that created such a significant culture, the Japanese culture. And Jeff almost fell in a lake, which was high value entertainment. Afterward, we headed to the Robot Restaurant in Shinjuku. This is somewhere I've always wanted to visit and it was better than I thought it would be. The show is so fun and crazy and they stopped the show a couple of times mid-show to serve you drinks and snacks. Even the toilet was so wild. And of course, we had to check out Shibuya Crossing, the world's largest crossing. If you ever want to feel small and meaningless in this world, then head to Shibuya or anywhere in this part of the city really. I have to admit I was constantly overwhelmed and struck by the amount of people this city housed. But the one thing I definitely learnt from the Japanese is humility and kindness, and the fact that there is always an orderly way of doing things, no matter how busy or rushed you are.